Have you ever paused to truly ponder what makes a legend? In the vibrant realm of Pokémon, some beings rise far beyond mere existence. They shape the very world. They guard balance. They personify the deep forces that move the cosmos. These are the legendary Pokémon. But what exactly is a legend? And what sets them apart from their even rarer counterparts, the mythical Pokémon, like the elusive Mew or the mysterious Darkrai? The difference lies in their narrative. Legendary Pokémon are woven into the very tapestry of each region's story. Their names echo through time. Their presence alters landscapes, destinies, and the fate of trainers. Mythical Pokémon, in contrast, operate on a subtler plane, shrouded in deeper mystery, often tied to singular events or hidden lore. Their appearances even rarer, their influence quieter, yet profound. For the next few hours, we're setting aside the battles and gym challenges. We're diving into the mythic heart of the world itself. We will trace creation myths, revisit the echoes of ancient ruin, and explore the monumental impact these legendary Pokémon have had on shaping the Pokémon world as we know it. But before we dive in, I just want to say a quick thank you to our awesome little community for subscribing, liking, and supporting these videos. It really means a lot. Now, a few of you mentioned you haven't been getting our upload notifications lately. Looks like YouTube's been acting up again. So take a quick moment to make sure you're still subscribed and that your bell icon is set to all notifications. And after that, drop a comment below to let us know, did you actually get a notification for this video? Thanks so much. Now back to the video. This isn't simply a catalogue of creatures, it's a journey of stories. From the raging elemental storms of Kanto's legendary birds to the paradoxical dragons roaming Paldea's Area Zero. We will witness the dawn of existence, monumental clashes, and the fragile equilibrium between life and obliteration. Our path begins in Kanto, the birthplace of it all, and follows the lineage of power through Mew's emergence into the artificial might of Mewtwo. We'll move to Johto, where towers burned and legends were reforged. From there, Hoenn, where primordial forces collided for supremacy. Then to Sinnoh, where the fabric of reality was woven. Onward to Unova, where the ideals of truth and ideology fought a silent war. In Kalos, we will discover the dance of life and destruction in a cycle of rebirth. In Alola, we meet the Island Guardians and the invaders from the ultra-space-time beyond. We face Gala's darkest day, stand with its heroic protectors, and delve into the ancient mysteries buried beneath the earth. Finally, our journey ends in Paldea, a region wrestling with its past, forging its future. Here the paradox Pokémon roam, the ancient turtle colossus Terrapagos stirs, and the terrestrial phenomenon shifts the very nature of being. So, settle in, relax, let your mind drift and your heart open. Whether you're seeking a serene story to fall asleep to or a deep dive into your favourite game's lore, this is the complete saga of legendary Pokémon, a story of creation, destruction, harmony, and the timeless power of myth. Let the journey begin. The fabric of legends. What are legendary Pokémon? Is it raw power, their role in the world, or perhaps the ancient stories that swirl around them like the mists of time? The answer, as you'll soon discover, is all of these things, and so much more. Within the sprawling universe of Pokémon, not all extraordinary beings are created equal. There's a crucial distinction, one that separates the titans of myth from the elusive phantoms of wonder, the difference between legendary and mythical Pokémon. Legendary Pokémon, as we'll explore, are the cornerstones of regional lore, the subjects of epic poems, and the central figures in creation myths that have shaped entire ecosystems. These are the Pokémon whose existence is widely known, even if their actual appearances remain shrouded in mystery. They are the guardians, the destroyers, and the balancers of the natural world, their actions rippling through time and space. Think of them as the gods and demigods of the Pokémon world, their influence palpable and their presence, however rare, undeniable. Mythical Pokémon, on the other hand, occupy a different, more ethereal space. These are the Pokémon whispered about in hushed tones, the subjects of folklore so obscure that their very existence is often questioned. They are the Pokémon of rumour and legend, their appearances so fleeting and their interactions with humans so limited that they often fade into the realm of pure fantasy. Mythical Pokémon are often tied to specific events or promotions, adding to their mystique and making them feel even more special. They are the secrets hidden within the world, the treasures waiting to be discovered by only the most dedicated trainers. The line between legendary and mythical can sometimes blur, it's true, but a good rule of thumb is this: legendary Pokémon are the grand narratives of the Pokémon world, while mythical Pokémon are the hidden chapters, the secret epilogues that add depth and intrigue to the overall story. And what a story it is. Over countless generations across diverse regions, the tales of legendary Pokémon have been told and retold, each version adding new layers of meaning and significance. These stories aren't just entertaining, they're fundamental to understanding the very fabric of the Pokémon world. They are the key to unlocking the secrets of its creation, its evolution, and its enduring power. But where do we even begin to unravel such a vast and intricate tapestry of lore? How can we possibly hope to make sense of the countless legends that span across continents and through the ages? Well, the answer lies in embarking on a journey, a chronological exploration of each region, from the humble beginnings of Kanto to the futuristic mysteries of Paldea. We'll delve into the creation myths, uncover the tragic tales of destruction and rebirth, and examine the roles these extraordinary beings play in maintaining the delicate balance of the world. This isn't just a collection of stories, you see. It's a unified narrative, an interconnected web of legends that reveals a deeper truth about the Pokémon universe and its enduring power to capture our imaginations. Prepare to be amazed as we embark on a quest to understand the interconnected myths and creation stories of legendary Pokémon, revealing their profound roles in shaping the world as we know it. This is more than just a documentary. It's an exploration of the very essence of Pokémon, a journey into the heart of what makes these creatures so captivating and their legends so timeless. And where better to begin our adventure than in the region where it all started, the land of vibrant cities, sprawling landscapes, and the genesis of some of the most iconic legendary Pokémon of all time. Yes, our first stop is Kanto, where we'll explore the creation of Mew, the origins of the legendary birds, and the tragic tale of Mewtwo. It's a story of power, science, and the very meaning of existence. Kanto, genesis of power. But what a legend in the Pokémon world. Is it raw power, a pivotal role in shaping history, or perhaps a divine connection to the very fabric of existence? In this journey, we begin at the start in the region of Kanto, where the genesis of power reveals secrets that echo across every corner of the Pokémon universe. Prepare to have your understanding of legendary Pokémon redefined. Kanto, a land of familiar landscapes and timeless tales, holds the key to understanding the origins of many legendary forces. Here, whispers of creation intertwine with scientific ambition, resulting in beings of immense power and profound significance. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind the legends? Our journey begins with a Pokémon shrouded in mystery, a being said to be the ancestor of all, a Pokémon whose genetic code contains the blueprint for every creature, great and small, that inhabits this world. I'm talking, of course, about Mew. Imagine, if you will, a creature of pure psychic energy, playful and elusive, said to possess the DNA of every Pokémon in existence. Mew is not just a powerful Pokémon, it's a living testament to the boundless potential of life itself. Its existence challenges our understanding of evolution, suggesting a common ancestor from which all other species diverged. But how could one Pokémon hold the genetic key to an entire world? The story of Mew is interwoven with scientific exploration and a desperate search for the origins of Pokémon. Deep within the jungles of Guyana, a research expedition stumbled upon a groundbreaking discovery, a new Pokémon unlike any they had ever seen. This Pokémon, dubbed Mew, possessed an unparalleled genetic structure, hinting at its pivotal role in the history of Pokémon evolution. But the discovery of Mew was only the first step in a far more complex and ethically challenging journey. What happened next would forever alter the landscape of the Pokémon world. From this single discovery in Guyana, the very notion of Pokémon evolution was turned on its head. If Mew truly was the origin, then what other secrets lay hidden within its DNA? What other powers could be unlocked? These questions drove scientists to push the boundaries of what was possible, leading to experiments that would blur the line between creation and manipulation. But Mew is not the only legend that graces the skies and landscapes of Kanto. 3 majestic birds, each embodying the raw power of the elements, also hold a place of prominence in the region's lore. They are the elemental trinity, the sky titans of Kanto, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Imagine the chilling winds of Articuno, the electrifying storms of Zapdos, and the scorching flames of Moltres. These are not mere birds, they are living embodiments of ice, lightning, and fire. Each bird claims dominion over its respective element, influencing the weather patterns and ecosystems of Kanto. Their existence is a constant reminder of the untamed forces that shape the world. Articuno, the freeze Pokémon, is said to appear during blizzards, its elegant wings leaving trails of frost in the air. Legends say it can create ice from thin air, freezing the very moisture in the atmosphere. Zapdos, the electric Pokémon, crackles with energy, its wings sparking with every flap. It is said to emerge from thunderclouds, bringing storms and lightning strikes in its wake. And Moltres, the flame Pokémon, burns with an eternal fire, its fiery wings illuminating the night sky. Its presence brings warmth and light, but also the threat of scorching flames. But where did these magnificent birds come from? What force brought them into existence, granting them dominion over the elements? Some believe they are manifestations of nature's raw power, while others suggest they are ancient guardians, tasked with maintaining balance within the environment. Whatever their origin, their influence on Kanto is undeniable. These three birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, are intrinsically tied to the natural world. Their habitats are not chosen at random, but are specifically attuned to their elemental powers. Articuno dwells in icy caves, Zapdos nests within thunderclouds, and Moltres makes its home in volcanic peaks. This connection to their environment further reinforces their role as guardians of the elements. The legendary birds serve as a constant reminder that nature is both powerful and unpredictable. They are not easily controlled or manipulated, and their actions can have far-reaching consequences. The balance of Kanto's ecosystem depends in part on the delicate interplay between these elemental forces. But what happens when this balance is disrupted? The legends of Kanto, however, are not solely tales of creation and natural power. There's also a darker chapter, a story of scientific hubris, and the creation of a being born from ambition and desperation. This is the tragic tale of Mewtwo. Picture a laboratory, filled with the hum of machinery and the scent of chemicals. Within those walls, scientists sought to unlock the secrets of Mew's DNA, to harness its power and create the ultimate Pokémon. But their ambition came at a terrible cost. They sought to create a Pokémon of unparalleled strength and intelligence, but in doing so, they birthed a being filled with rage and resentment. Mewtwo, a clone of Mew, was engineered to be the ultimate weapon, a being of immense psychic power. But as Mewtwo grew, it began to question its own existence, its purpose, and its place in the world. Why was it created? Was it simply a tool to be used and discarded? These questions fueled its anger and resentment, ultimately leading to its escape from the laboratory. Mewtwo's escape marked a turning point in the history of legendary Pokémon. It was a stark reminder of the potential consequences of tampering with nature, of playing God without considering the ethical implications. Mewtwo's immense psychic power made it a force to be reckoned with, capable of bending reality to its will. The tragic story of Mewtwo raises profound questions about the ethics of science and the responsibility that comes with wielding such power. Was it right to create a Pokémon solely for the purpose of experimentation and combat? Did the scientist have the right to play with the building blocks of life? These are questions that continue to resonate throughout the Pokémon world. But what is the connection between the legendary birds and Mewtwo? Is there a deeper connection that links these seemingly disparate legends? Both the birds and Mewtwo represent different aspects of power, the raw, untamed power of nature and the manufactured, controlled power of science. Both forces have the potential to shape the world, but also to destroy it. Consider the parallels. The birds embody the natural order, while Mewtwo represents the disruption of that order. The birds are ancient guardians, while Mewtwo is a creation of modern science. The birds exist in harmony with their environment, while Mewtwo is alienated and isolated. These contrasts highlight the tension between nature and technology, a theme that runs throughout the Pokémon world. Mewtwo's existence challenges the very definition of what it means to be a Pokémon. Is it simply a creature to be caught and trained? Or is it a sentient being with its own thoughts, feelings, and desires? Mewtwo's story forces us to confront these questions and to consider the moral implications of our interactions with Pokémon. The legacies of Mew, the legendary birds, and Mewtwo continue to shape the Pokémon world. They are reminders of the power of creation, the beauty of nature, and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Their stories serve as cautionary tales, urging us to respect the balance of the world and to consider the consequences of our actions. But these legends of Kanto are only the beginning. As we journey onward, we will uncover even more profound mysteries, more intricate connections, and more powerful Pokémon. The next stop on our journey takes us to the region of Johto, where we will explore the legends of the Bell Tower and the Brass Tower, and the roles of Ho-Oh and Lugia as guardians. But what cataclysmic event led to the destruction of one of these towers, and how did it give rise to the legendary beasts? That's a story for another time, a story that will challenge your understanding of rebirth, redemption, and the enduring power of legend. Chapter 3. Johto, Towers of Rebirth. In the realm of Johto, where tradition intertwines with the whispers of ancient power, lies a tale of two towers, celestial guardians, and the very essence of rebirth. Imagine, if you will, twin structures reaching towards the heavens, symbols of harmony and connection between the human and Pokémon worlds. These were the Bell Tower, resonating with the pure tones of its crystal bell, and the Brass Tower, a beacon of warmth and vibrant life. The Brass Tower, also known as the Burned Tower, once stood as a testament to the unbreakable bond between humans and Pokémon, a place of reverence and joyous celebration. But its light was tragically extinguished, consumed by a devastating fire, an event that would forever alter the landscape of Johto and give rise to a new legend. What could have caused such a catastrophic event? What secrets were lost within those flames? As guardians of these sacred towers, two legendary Pokémon reigned supreme: Ho-Oh, the majestic rainbow Pokémon, and Lugia, the diving Pokémon, master of the seas. Ho-Oh, perched atop the bell tower, was said to possess the power to resurrect the deceased, its radiant wings scattering hope across the land. Lugia, in contrast, resided deep within the Whirl Islands, its presence a calming force against the ocean's fury. These Pokémon, so different in their domains and abilities, were intrinsically linked, bound by their shared duty to protect the balance of nature in Johto. But the harmony was shattered. The fire that engulfed the Brass Tower not only destroyed a physical landmark, but also severed a vital connection between the people and the Pokémon of Johto. And in the wake of this tragedy, something extraordinary occurred, an event that would forever cement the legend of the legendary beasts. From the ashes of the Brass Tower, three Pokémon were reborn, imbued with the power of the elements. Raikou, the lightning Pokémon, embodied the searing intensity of the fire strike, its movements as swift and unpredictable as a thunderbolt. Entei, the volcano Pokémon, represented the raw, untamed power of the flames, its roar echoing with the fury of the inferno. And Suicune, the Aurora Pokémon, symbolized the rain that eventually extinguished the blaze, its presence bringing a sense of serenity and renewal. These were not merely Pokémon resurrected, they were embodiments of the very forces that had shaped the tragedy, reborn to roam the land, seeking purpose and balance in a world scarred by destruction. What could be the significance of these three particular Pokémon, and what role did Ho-Oh play in their miraculous rebirth? The legend states that Ho-Oh, witnessing the devastation from atop the bell tower, used its immense power to grant new life to three nameless Pokémon who perished in the fire. These Pokémon were not chosen at random, each represented a crucial aspect of the disaster and its aftermath. Raikou, the electric type, embodies the speed and intensity of the lightning that may have sparked the fire. Entei, the fire type, represents the destructive power of the flames themselves. Suicune, the water type, embodies the calming rain that eventually quelled the inferno. These three legendary beasts, now imbued with incredible power, became symbols of hope and resilience, reminding the people of Johto that even from the darkest ashes, new life can emerge. But their connection to Ho-Oh runs deeper than mere resurrection. They're intrinsically linked to the rainbow Pokémon, acting as its heralds, testing the worthiness of trainers who seek to encounter the legendary bird. Raikou embodies swift judgment, appearing only to those who possess quick reflexes and a decisive spirit. Entei seeks out those with unwavering passion and the courage to face adversity head-on. And Suicune values purity of heart and a deep connection to the natural world. Only those who embody these virtues can hope to earn the respect of the legendary beasts and perhaps even catch a glimpse of the elusive Ho-Oh. The symbolism of the legendary beasts extends beyond their elemental powers. Raikou, with its sharp, angular features, represents the piercing clarity of lightning, cutting through deception and revealing the truth. Entei, with its volcanic might, embodies the transformative power of destruction, clearing the way for new growth and innovation. And Suicune, with its flowing, graceful form, symbolizes the healing and restorative properties of water, nurturing life and promoting harmony. Their connection to Ho-Oh further reinforces the theme of rebirth and renewal. Just as the rainbow Pokémon emerged from the ashes of its own destruction, the legendary beasts represent the potential for growth and transformation that lies within every individual and every community. They are a constant reminder that even in the face of tragedy, hope remains and new beginnings are always possible. But what about Lugia, the guardian of the seas? Where does it fit into this intricate tapestry of legends? While Ho-Oh embodies the power of resurrection and hope, Lugia represents balance and tranquility. Its role is to quell conflict and maintain harmony within the ocean depths, preventing the destructive forces of nature from unleashing chaos upon the world. Some legends suggest that Lugia and Ho-Oh were once equal guardians, residing together atop the brass tower. However, the fire and its aftermath forced them to separate, each embracing their individual destinies. Lugia sought refuge in the Whirl Islands, using its psychic powers to calm the turbulent currents and protect the delicate marine ecosystem. The connection between the birds of Kanto and the beasts of Johto highlights a recurring theme in the world of legendary Pokémon: the interconnectedness of nature and the importance of maintaining balance. Just as Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres represent the delicate equilibrium of the elements, Raikou, Entei and Suicune embody the forces of destruction and renewal. These legends serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of the potential consequences of disrupting the natural order. The fire that destroyed the brass tower was not merely an accident, it was a consequence of human negligence and a disregard for the sacred bond between people and Pokémon. The legendary beasts, in their raw power and untamed nature, serve as a constant reminder of the forces that can be unleashed when this balance is disrupted. So, as you reflect on the story of Johto, consider the profound implications of these ancient legends. The tale of the Bell Tower, the Brass Tower, Ho-Oh, Lugia, and the legendary beasts is more than just a captivating narrative. It is a timeless lesson about the importance of respecting nature, embracing change, and finding hope in the face of adversity. The tragic fire ultimately birthed a new trio of legendaries to roam Johto, but the primordial chaos of Hoenn was brewing, waiting to be unleashed. The land and the sea were about to clash, but what role would the sky play in this ancient conflict? Chapter 4: Hoenn, Primordial Chaos. In the Kanto region, we witnessed the genesis of Pokémon, the birth of legends that shaped the world as we know it. Then, in Johto, we saw the cycle of destruction and rebirth, the guardians rising from the ashes. But these were merely preludes to a conflict of truly epic proportions, a clash that reshaped the very landscape of a region. Welcome to Hoenn, where primordial chaos reigned. Imagine a world sculpted by the raw, untamed power of nature, where the land itself is a battlefield. In Hoenn, the story isn't about creation in the same way as Kanto or Sinnoh. It's a story of constant struggle, a battle for dominance between two forces of nature so immense, so ancient, that their conflict threatened to tear the world apart. These forces were personified by two legendary Pokémon, Kyogre and Groudon. Kyogre, the embodiment of the sea, a colossal Pokémon capable of summoning torrential rains and raising tidal waves that could swallow continents. Groudon, the master of the land, a behemoth whose presence brought forth scorching droughts and volcanic eruptions, expanding the landmass with every step. Their feud was not born of malice, but of instinct, a primal urge to claim dominion over the world. Kyogre sought to drown the land, to return the world to a water-covered paradise. Groudon, conversely, desired to scorch the seas, to expand the continents and banish the oceans to the deepest trenches. For eons they clashed. Their battles shook the very foundations of Hoenn. The seas raged, the earth trembled, and the skies darkened with ash and storm. Clouds. Entire ecosystems were decimated, and the delicate balance of nature teetered on the brink of collapse. But how could such immense power be contained? How could this ceaseless conflict be brought to an end? The answer, as it often does, lay in another legend, another guardian. A being that soared through the heavens, watching over the earthbound titans, Rayquaza. This serpentine dragon, a magnificent emerald green, was the guardian of the sky. It dwelled in the ozone layer far above the clouds, a silent observer of the world below. Unlike Kyogre and Groudon, Rayquaza was not driven by primal instinct. It was a creature of balance, a protector of the natural order. When the conflict between Kyogre and Groudon reached its peak, threatening to consume the entire world, Rayquaza descended from the heavens. Its arrival was heralded by a blinding flash of light and a deafening roar that echoed across the land. Imagine the scene. Two titans locked in mortal combat, their roars shaking the very air, the land and sea convulsing with their power. And then, from above, a streak of emerald light, a dragon of the sky descending to quell the storm. Rayquaza's power was unlike anything Kyogre and Groudon had ever encountered. It possessed the ability to manipulate the very atmosphere, to control the flow of energy that coursed through the planet. With a series of earth-shattering roars and displays of aerial prowess, Rayquaza forced the two titans to cease their battle. It channeled its energy to calm Kyogre's raging storms and quell Groudon's volcanic eruptions. The earth stilled, the seas calmed, and the skies cleared. Balance was restored, at least for a time. But the legend of Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza serves as a constant reminder of the power of nature, the delicate balance that sustains life, and the potential for chaos that lies dormant beneath the surface. It's a testament to the responsibility that comes with wielding such power, whether it's the power of a legendary Pokémon or the power of human innovation. The story of Hoenn is more than just a tale of battling titans. It's a reflection on the fundamental forces that shape our world and the importance of maintaining equilibrium. It's about understanding the delicate dance between land and sea, between destruction and preservation. But the story of Hoenn's legendary Pokémon doesn't end with the conflict between Kyogre and Groudon. There's another layer to this region's history, a hidden chapter involving ancient beings of immense power, beings who shaped the very continents we stand on. We're talking about the Reges, Regirock, Regis, and Registeel. Three enigmatic Pokémon, each embodying a different element, each shrouded in mystery. But who created these beings? What was their purpose? And what role did they play in shaping the Hoenn region? The answer lies with another legendary Pokémon, a being of immense strength and ancient origins, a titan whose power rivals that of Kyogre and Groudon, a Pokémon known as Regigigas. Regigigas, the colossal Pokémon, is said to have shaped the continents with its bare hands, pulling and pushing the land to create the world as we know it. But its connection to the Regis is even more profound. Legend has it that Regigigas created Regirock, Regis, and Registeel, imbuing them with its own power and tasking them with guarding specific locations throughout the Hoenn region. These locations were not chosen at random. They were places of immense significance, places where the very fabric of the earth was thin. Regirock, the rock peak Pokémon, was tasked with guarding ancient ruins, places where the power of the earth was at its strongest. Regis, the iceberg Pokémon, guarded frozen caverns, places where the cold was so intense that it could freeze time itself. Registeel, the iron Pokémon, protected abandoned chambers, places where the echoes of a forgotten civilization still lingered. These three Regis were not merely guardians, they were anchors, holding the very foundations of the Hoenn region together. They were responsible for maintaining the balance of elemental energies, preventing the forces of nature from spiraling out of control. But how does this all connect? How does the elemental conflict of Kyogre and Groudon relate to the manufactured life of Mewtwo, the product of human ambition gone awry? Think about it. Kyogre and Groudon represent the raw, untamed power of nature, forces beyond human control. Mewtwo, on the other hand, is a creation of science, a testament to humanity's ability to manipulate and control the building blocks of life. The contrast is stark. One is a product of natural evolution, the other a product of artificial creation. One is driven by instinct, the other by a complex web of emotions and desires, and yet both are incredibly powerful. Both have the potential to reshape the world. Both represent the immense responsibility that comes with wielding such power. The Regis, then, represent a third path. They are not natural forces like Kyogre and Groudon, nor are they artificial creations like Mewtwo. They are something in between. Beings created by another legendary Pokémon, imbued with a specific purpose, tasked with maintaining balance and order. The Hen region, therefore, becomes a microcosm of the entire Pokémon world, a place where the forces of nature, the creations of science, and the guardians of balance all converge. It's a region that challenges us to consider the implications of our actions, the potential consequences of disrupting the natural order. The story of Hoenn is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of ancient conflict, elemental power, and the enduring quest for balance. It's a story that reminds us that the world is a delicate ecosystem, and that even the smallest actions can have far-reaching consequences. But as we journey deeper into the heart of the Pokémon world, we begin to uncover a truth even more profound, a revelation that will forever change our understanding of the origins of life and the very nature of reality. What if the legends we've explored so far are merely fragments of a much larger, more intricate story? What if there is a single, unifying force behind all of creation? In Sinnoh, we ascend to the peak of Mount Coronet and prepare to meet the being who shaped the entire universe. Chapter 5. Sinnoh, Hisui, Creation of Reality. Now, let's journey to a region steeped in ancient lore, a land where the very fabric of reality was woven, Sinnoh. Or perhaps we should also say Hisui, its ancient form. For here, we encounter not just powerful beings, but the architects of existence itself. Are you ready to witness the dawn of everything? The Sinnoh region, and its past incarnation as Hisui, holds a unique position in the Pokémon world. It's not just a place, it's a cosmic nexus, the point from which all things originate. And at the heart of this origin story stands a single, awe-inspiring Pokémon, Arceus. Imagine a being of unimaginable power, existing before time, before space, before. This is Arceus, the original one. According to legend, Arceus hatched from an egg in a realm of pure chaos. From this solitary existence, Arceus, driven by an unknown purpose, began to shape the universe as we know it. But how does one Pokémon accomplish such a feat? The answer lies in the creation of three extraordinary beings, each embodying a fundamental aspect of reality. Dialga, the master of time, Palkia, the master of space, and Giratina, the master of antimatter. These three dragons, born from Arceus, were tasked with bringing order to the infinite void. Dialga, with its diamond-like chest, controls the flow of time itself. Every tick of the clock, every sunrise and sunset, every moment that passes is under its dominion. Palkia, adorned with shimmering pearls, holds sway over the very fabric of space. It can warp dimensions, create alternate realities, and traverse the vast expanse of the cosmos in the blink of an eye. But what about Giratina? Giratina is perhaps the most enigmatic of the three. Banished to the distortion world for its destructive tendencies, it embodies antimatter, the opposite of everything that exists in our universe. The distortion world, a realm where the laws of physics are twisted and broken, serves as Giratina's prison and domain. It is a reflection of our own world, yet utterly alien and terrifying. Think about the implications of these three beings: time, space, and antimatter. These are not just abstract concepts, they are the very foundations upon which reality is built. And Arceus, through Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, brought these elements into existence. But the creation of the universe was not Arceus's only act of benevolence. To further shape the world, and to imbue it with qualities beyond mere existence, Arceus created another trio of legendary Pokémon, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, the Lake Trio. These three beings represent the Thiad, very essence of what it means to be human: knowledge, emotion, and willpower. Uxie, the being of knowledge, dwells in a Acuity cavern. It is said that Uxie gave humanity the ability to learn, to understand, and to unravel the mysteries of the world. But beware, for opening Uxie's eyes will erase your memories. Mesprit, the being of emotion, resides in Verity Cavern. It bestowed upon humanity the capacity to feel, to love, to hate, and to experience the full spectrum of emotions that make us who we are. Touching Mesprit will cause you to lose all emotion within 3 days. Azelf, the being of willpower, can be found in Valor Cavern. It granted humanity the strength to persevere, to overcome adversity, and to shape their own destinies. It is said that Azelf had the power to control humans. Consider this: knowledge, emotion, and willpower. Without these qualities, humanity would be nothing more than empty vessels. The Lake Trio, gifts from Arceus, are the very essence of our being, the qualities that define us as sentient creatures. The Sinnoh region, therefore, is not just a land of mountains and lakes. It is a testament to the power of creation, a reminder of the forces that shape the universe and the qualities that make us human. The implications of Sinnoh's creation myth are profound. It suggests that the Pokémon world is not simply a place, but a carefully crafted reality, designed by a benevolent creator for a specific purpose. It challenges us to consider our own place in the universe and the responsibilities that come with the gifts we have been given. But what does this mean for the other regions? How does the creation myth of Sinnoh connect to the legends of Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn? Is there a grand, unified narrative that ties all of these stories together? Or are they simply isolated tales, existing independently of one another? As we've seen, the Sinnoh region's creation myth is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of time, space, emotion, and willpower. It paints a picture of a universe carefully crafted by Arceus, the original one, and populated by beings of immense power and significance. But how does this cosmic creation story relate to the more human-centric narratives of other regions? Does the pursuit of truth and ideals, so central to the Unova region, have a place in Arceus's grand design? Or is the cycle of life and destruction, as embodied by the legendary Pokémon of Kalos, simply a consequence of the universe's inherent nature? The answer, as we'll discover, lies in understanding the interconnectedness of these legends. Each region, each Pokémon, each story plays a vital role in the grand narrative of the Pokémon world. And as we continue our journey, we'll begin to see how these seemingly disparate threads come together to form a cohesive and awe-inspiring whole. The Sinnoh region, with its creation myth and its powerful legendary Pokémon, serves as a foundation upon which all other legends are built. It is the beginning of the story, the genesis of a world filled with wonder, mystery, and endless possibilities. But even with the birth of Sinnoh and Hisui, the saga continues, and it's time to venture into the land of Unova, where we'll uncover the story of an original dragon split in two and the profound implications of choosing between truth and ideals. What happens when a single being is fractured and its essence divided? The answer, as you'll soon discover, is far more complex and fascinating than you might imagine. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. Chapter 6: Unova, Ideals and Truth. The tales of Sinnoh echo with the universe's first breath, but the region of Unova sings a different song, a song of truth, a song of ideals, and a song of what happens when those two forces tear something magnificent apart. Imagine, if you will, a dragon of unimaginable power. Not just a legendary Pokémon, but legendary Pokémon of Unova, a being of pure, unadulterated draconic might, whose very existence shaped the region's history. This dragon, according to legend, aided two twin heroes. Each sought to build a better world, but their visions clashed. One championed truth, unwavering and absolute. The other, ideals, the potential for a brighter future. The clash between these heroes grew so intense, so fundamentally opposed, that the original dragon, to participate in their conflict, it couldn't choose. Its very being was split asunder. From this cataclysmic division arose two new legendary Pokémon, Reshiram, the embodiment of truth, and Zekrom, the embodiment of ideals. Reshiram, a magnificent white dragon, boasts a flowing tail that blazes with searing fire. It seeks out those who pursue truth with unwavering conviction, lending them its power. Zekrom, a sleek black dragon crackling with electricity, aids those who strive for their ideals, for a world built on their vision of what be. These dragons are not inherently good or evil. They embody the core tenets of their respective philosophies, and they choose champions worthy of wielding their immense power. But what, you might ask, became of the original dragon? What was left behind in this devastating schism? The answer lies in a desolate part of Unova, a frigid wasteland where the wind howls like a mournful spirit. There, encased in ice, slumbers Kyurem. Kyurem isn't just another legendary Pokémon, it's a void where power once resided. It is the empty shell, the husk of the original dragon, left incomplete and yearning to be whole again. Its body is fractured, its form grotesque, a constant reminder of the devastating conflict that shattered it. Imagine the pain, the unending hunger of being incomplete. Kyurem constantly seeks to reunite with Reshiram or Zekrom to fill the void within itself. It craves the missing piece, the part of its being that was ripped away. This desperation manifests as an insatiable desire to fuse with either of the dragons, absorbing their power and becoming whole once more. But these fusions are not true reunions. They are more like parasitic relationships, where Kyurem dominates and corrupts the power of Reshiram or Zekrom, creating monstrous new forms. These forms, known as White Kyurem and Black Kyurem, are testaments to the imbalance, the incompleteness that defines Kyurem's existence. The legend of the original dragon and its fractured existence serves as a potent reminder. It shows us that even the noblest pursuits, truth and ideals, can become destructive when taken to extremes, when they lead to division and conflict. It highlights the importance of balance, of understanding that truth and ideals are not mutually exclusive, but rather two sides of the same coin. Unova's story doesn't end there, though. Beyond the philosophical implications of these draconic beings, another trio of legendary Pokémon govern the very forces of nature, shaping the landscape and influencing the lives of all who dwell in the region. These are the forces of nature: Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. Tornadus, a fearsome green-skinned being, commands the power of wind. He whips up devastating storms, tearing through the sky with unrestrained fury. Thundurus, his blue-skinned counterpart, controls thunder and lightning. He unleashes bolts of raw energy, shaking the very foundations of the earth. These two are often seen as destructive forces, bringing chaos and devastation in their wake. But there's another side to their story. Their storms, while dangerous, also bring much-needed rain, nourishing the land and replenishing vital resources, and that's where Landorus comes in. This orange-skinned being represents the earth itself, the fertile ground that sustains all life. He calms the raging storms of Tornadus and Thundurus, ensuring that the land receives the life-giving rain without being ravaged by excessive force. Landorus is revered throughout Unova, particularly in areas where agriculture is essential. He is seen as a benevolent protector, a guardian of the land, ensuring bountiful harvests and prosperity for the people. In many ways, he is the necessary counterbalance to the raw, untamed power of Tornadus and Thundurus. The interactions between these three forces shape Unova's climate and environment. They're a constant reminder of the delicate balance between destruction and creation, chaos and order. Their presence highlights the importance of respecting the power of nature and striving to live in harmony with the environment. Consider the contrast for a moment. We've moved from the creation and division of a single powerful dragon, reflecting abstract concepts of truth and ideals, to the more tangible forces that directly impact the physical world. It's a microcosm of the larger Pokémon world, isn't it? Abstract concepts made manifest through powerful beings, shaping the very fabric of reality. Unova's legends, therefore, serve as a reminder of the potential for both creation and destruction, inherent in all things, whether it be the pursuit of ideals or the raw power of nature. They underscore the importance of balance, of understanding that even the most noble aspirations can have devastating consequences if taken to extremes. As we reflect on the stories of Unova, echoes of the themes explored in previous regions. The elemental dominion of the Kanto birds finds a parallel in the forces of nature. The tragic consequences of imbalance seen in the conflict between Kyogre and Groudon resonate in the fractured existence of Kyurem. But Unova adds its own unique dimension to the tapestry of legendary Pokémon lore, focusing on the internal conflicts that can arise from differing beliefs and the importance of finding harmony between opposing forces. It's a lesson that resonates far beyond the borders of the Unova region, a lesson that speaks to the very heart of the human condition. But what happens when life and death are in constant conflict, a never-ending cycle of destruction and rebirth? What happens when the very balance of nature is threatened not by opposing ideals, but by the fundamental forces of existence itself? Join us next as we journey to the Kalos region, where we will uncover the contrasting powers of Xerneas and Yveltal, and explore the role of Zygarde as the guardian of order, maintaining balance in the face of ecological threats. Chapter 7. Kalos. Life and Destruction. The Kalos region, a land of vibrant beauty, ancient secrets, and a delicate balance constantly threatened. Here, life and destruction aren't opposing forces, but two sides of the same coin, eternally intertwined in a dance as old as time itself. Imagine a forest teeming with life, sunlight dappling through leaves, the air thick with the scent of blooming flowers. Now picture that same forest consumed by an unstoppable force, reduced to ash and barren earth. This is the essence of Kalos, a region where creation and annihilation are not just possibilities, but inevitable realities. At the heart of this cycle lie two legendary Pokémon, Xerneas and Yveltal. Xerneas, the life Pokémon, embodies vitality and growth. Its very presence invigorates the land, bringing forth lush vegetation and awakening dormant energies. Legend says that Xerneas can share its eternal life with others, offering salvation to those on the brink of demise. But what is life without its opposite? What is creation without the shadow of destruction? Enter Yveltal, the destruction Pokémon. A being of immense power, Yveltal embodies decay and entropy. When its life force wanes, it unleashes a cataclysmic event, absorbing the life energy of all living things around it, transforming into a cocoon to slumber once more. This act, while devastating, is not inherently evil. It's a necessary part of the cycle, a pruning of the old to make way for the new. Think of it like a forest fire, horrifying in its destructive power, yet essential for clearing away deadwood and allowing new growth to flourish. Yveltal is the embodiment of this natural process, a force of nature as vital as the sunlight that nourishes the land. But what happens when this delicate balance is disrupted? What if the cycle of life and death is thrown into chaos? This is where Zygarde enters the stage. Zygarde is the Order Pokémon, the guardian of Kalos' ecosystem. Unlike Xerneas and Yveltal, which embody specific aspects of the life cycle, Zygarde represents the overall balance of nature itself. It exists not as a single entity, but as a collection of cells scattered throughout the region, constantly monitoring the environment. When the natural order is threatened, when the power of Xerneas or Yveltal becomes too extreme, Zygarde begins to gather its cells, forming a more powerful form. This process culminates in its complete form, a colossal being with the power to restore equilibrium and quell any ecological crisis. You might be wondering, what constitutes a threat to the ecosystem in the eyes of Zygarde? It's not simply about the existence of Yveltal's destructive power. It's about the potential for imbalance, for the unchecked exploitation of nature's resources, for the disruption of the delicate web of life that sustains the Kalos region. Imagine a scenario where humans, driven by greed or ignorance, begin to deforest vast swathes of land, disrupting the habitats of countless Pokémon and depleting the region's natural resources. This is precisely the kind of ecological threat that would trigger Zygarde's awakening. Zygarde's role is not to prevent destruction altogether, but to ensure that it remains within the bounds of the natural cycle. It's a regulator, a fail-safe, a living embodiment of the principle that balance is essential for survival. Consider the impact of human intervention on the environment. Our actions, both intentional and unintentional, can have profound consequences on the delicate ecosystems that surround us. The story of Zygarde serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of sustainability, of respecting the natural world, and of understanding the interconnectedness of all living things. The legend of Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde is not just a tale of mythical Pokémon. It's a reflection of our own relationship with the environment, a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of disrupting the natural order. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that life and death are inextricably linked, and that true harmony can only be achieved through balance. Think about the implications of this cyclical nature. If Yveltal's destruction is necessary for new life to flourish, does that mean we should embrace destruction? Of course not. The key is understanding the context. Yveltal's actions are a natural part of the ecosystem, a necessary component of the cycle of life and death. However, unchecked destruction, driven by greed or malice, is a different matter entirely. Zygarde exists to prevent this kind of imbalance, to ensure that destruction remains within the bounds of the natural order. It's a reminder that we, as humans, have a responsibility to act as stewards of the environment, to protect the delicate balance that sustains all life. What if we could harness the power of Xerneas to heal the sick and extend life? What if we could control Yveltal's destructive force to eradicate disease and eliminate suffering? These are tempting possibilities, but they also carry immense risks. Tampering with the fundamental forces of nature can have unforeseen consequences, potentially disrupting the delicate balance that Zygarde works so hard to maintain. The story of Kalos serves as a warning against hubris, against the temptation to play God and manipulate the natural world for our own purposes. Consider the parallels to other legendary Pokémon we've explored. The conflict between Kyogre and Groudon in Hoenn, for example, represents a similar struggle for dominance between opposing forces. Rayquaza, like Zygarde, acts as a mediator, restoring balance when the conflict threatens to consume the region. The key difference lies in the nature of the conflict. Kyogre and Groudon represent elemental forces, while Xerneas and Yveltal embody the fundamental principles of life and death. This makes the Kalos legend particularly profound, as it delves into the very essence of existence. The legend of Kalos is a complex and multifaceted one, offering valuable insights into the nature of life, death, and the importance of balance. It's a reminder that we're all interconnected, that our actions have consequences, and that true harmony can only be achieved through respect for the natural world. The cyclical nature of Xerneas and Yveltal highlights the impermanence of all things. Just as life gives way to death, so too does destruction pave the way for new beginnings. This constant flux can be unsettling, but it's also a source of hope. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always the potential for renewal and rebirth. Think about the impact of this legend on the people of Kalos. How does it shape their culture, their beliefs, and their relationship with the environment? It's likely that they have a deep respect for nature, understanding the delicate balance that sustains their region. They may also be more accepting of death, recognizing it as a natural part of the life cycle. The story of Zygarde serves as a constant reminder of their responsibility to protect the environment and maintain the balance of nature. It's a legend that instills a sense of stewardship, encouraging them to act as guardians of the land. But what if Zygarde fails? What if the balance is irrevocably disrupted? The consequences could be catastrophic, potentially leading to the destruction of the Kalos region and the collapse of its ecosystem. This is a sobering thought, but it also underscores the importance of Zygarde's role. The existence of Zygarde is a testament to the resilience of nature. Even in the face of immense challenges, the natural world has a remarkable capacity to adapt and restore itself. Zygarde embodies this resilience, serving as a symbol of hope for a future where humans and nature can coexist in harmony. However, we must remember that Zygarde is not a magic bullet. It cannot solve all of our environmental problems. Ultimately, it is up to us to make responsible choices and act as stewards of the environment. The legend of Kalos is a call to action, urging us to embrace sustainability and protect the delicate balance that sustains all life. The story of Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde is a timeless tale, resonating with audiences across generations. It's a reminder of the power of nature, the importance of balance, and the responsibility we all share to protect the environment. But the story of legendary Pokémon doesn't end in Kalos. The next region we'll explore holds even more secrets, even more mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about the creation of the Pokémon world. We're heading to Alola, a tropical paradise where island guardians reign supreme and where the very fabric of reality is threatened by beings from another dimension. Chapter 8. Alola, Guardians and Invaders. In the sun-kissed region of Alola, a different kind of legend unfolds. Here, the power doesn't reside in shaping continents or controlling time itself. Instead, it's found in the bonds between the land, its guardians, and the celestial bodies watching from above. Are you ready to journey to a tropical paradise hiding cosmic secrets? The Alola region, a chain of vibrant islands, is protected by the Tapu, a quartet of guardian deities. Each Tapu watches over one of Alola's 4 main islands: Tapu Koko on Melemela, Tapu Lele on Akala, Tapu Bulu on Ula Ula, and Tapu Fini on Poni. Imagine these powerful beings, each embodying the spirit of their island, ready to defend their home from any threat. Tapu Koko, the spirited guardian of Melemele Island, crackles with electricity. Its fierce protection is legendary, often cloaking itself in a shell to build up power for a devastating attack. Think of it as the island's beating heart, impulsive and full of raw energy. Then there's Tapu Lele, the graceful guardian of Akala Island. This being scatters shimmering scales that heal and invigorate, but be warned, absorbing too much of this energy can overwhelm the mind. It's a gentle protector, but one with formidable psychic power. Ula Ula Island looks to Tapu Bulu, a more reserved guardian. With its wooden mask and imposing presence, it tests those who seek its favour, rewarding strength and punishing weakness. It's a guardian of tradition, a reminder of the natural power that shapes the land. Finally, Poni Island is watched over by Tapu Fini, cloaked in a mist that can purify and guide. This guardian prefers solitude, using its water manipulation to create trials for those seeking its wisdom. Tapu Fini reminds us that true strength lies in understanding ourselves. But these guardians aren't just benevolent protectors. They can be capricious and demanding, reminding the people of Alola that respect for nature is paramount. They are the embodiment of the island's will, their power drawn from the land itself. So, what happens when a threat emerges that even the Tapu can't handle alone? Alola's legends extend beyond its island guardians. They reach into the cosmos to the sun and moon themselves. Here, Solgaleo and Lunala emerge as figures of immense power, connected to the very fabric of ultraspace. Solgaleo, the emissary of the sun, radiates warmth and light. Known as the beast that devours the sun, it travels through ultra wormholes to reach Alola. Its radiant energy sustains life and banishes darkness. Lunala, on the other hand, embodies the moon's serene beauty. The beast that calls the moon, it glides through the night sky, drawing power from moonlight and opening pathways through ultraspace. Its ethereal presence brings tranquility and mystery. These two aren't just symbols, they are living gateways to other dimensions. They represent the balance between light and darkness, day and night, and the connection between our world and the vast unknown. But what happens when something from beyond threatens to consume that light? Enter Necrozma, a being of pure darkness, an entity starved of light. This isn't a creature of Alola, but a being from ultraspace, driven by an insatiable hunger. Imagine a void, a black hole, desperately seeking to fill itself with any available energy. Necrozma's arrival throws Alola into chaos. It seeks to steal the light of Solgaleo and Lunala, plunging the region into perpetual twilight. The Tapu fight valiantly, but they are no match for Necrozma's cosmic power. The very balance of Alola is threatened. This desperate situation leads to the emergence of a new kind of threat, the Ultra Beasts. These aren't Pokémon as we know them. They are beings from other dimensions, each with unique and often terrifying abilities. They arrive through ultra wormholes, drawn by Necrozma's presence and the disruption it causes. Imagine creatures unlike anything you've ever seen, beings that defy the natural order of the Pokémon world. Some are beautiful and alluring, others monstrous and destructive. They represent the infinite possibilities and potential dangers of ultraspace. The Ultra Beast cause widespread panic and destruction. The people of Alola must learn to adapt and defend themselves against these interdimensional invaders. It's a time of fear, but also of resilience, as trainers and Pokémon alike band together to face the unknown. Among the most notable of these Ultra Beasts are creatures like Nihiligo, a parasitic being that merges with humans, and Pheromosa, a creature of captivating beauty and incredible speed. There's also Buzzwole, a muscular behemoth that absorbs energy through its flexing muscles, and Guzzlord, a ravenous glutton that devours anything in its path. Each Ultra Beast presents a unique challenge, forcing trainers to rethink their strategies and adapt to new forms of combat. The arrival of the Ultra Beast forces Alola to confront its relationship with ultraspace. The region learns that it's not alone in the universe, and that other dimensions hold both wonders and terrors. This realization changes Alola forever, forcing it to embrace the unknown and forge new alliances. The people of Alola, aided by trainers from other regions, eventually find a way to harness the power of Z-moves and legendary Pokémon to combat the Ultra Beasts and ultimately confront Necrozma. They learn to channel the energy of the land and the cosmos, creating a force strong enough to repel the darkness. Necrozma, after absorbing Solgaleo or Lunala, transforms into even more powerful forms, Duskmane Necrozma or Dawnwings Necrozma, respectively. These forms represent the fusion of darkness and light, a testament to the power that can be created when opposing forces combine. Ultimately, Necrozma is defeated, releasing the stolen light and restoring balance to Alola. The Ultra Beasts are either captured or returned to their own dimensions, and the region begins to heal. The experience leaves a lasting impact, however, reminding Alola of the importance of vigilance and the interconnectedness of all things. Alola's story is a reminder that legends aren't just about power and creation, they're about protection, balance, and the courage to face the unknown. It's a testament to the strength of community and the importance of embracing the mysteries that lie beyond our own world. The Tapu, Solgaleo, Lunala, and even the Ultra Beasts all play a role in shaping Alola's unique identity, a region forever changed by its encounter with the cosmos. But what if the key to understanding these interdimensional threats lies not in Alola itself, but in another region entirely? What if the secrets of manipulating energy and bending reality have been studied and perfected elsewhere, with potentially devastating consequences? Join us next as we journey to Galar, a land of heroes, calamities, and the power to Dynamax Pokémon to colossal sizes. What we discover there will challenge everything you thought you knew about the nature of legendary Pokémon and their impact on the world. Chapter 9. Galar. Heroes and Calamities. The tapestry of Pokémon lore stretches across continents, each region whispering tales of immense power and ancient origins. Now, our journey takes us to the verdant landscapes and industrial cities of Galar, a region steeped in the legends of heroes and threatened by a power beyond comprehension. Here, in the shadow of towering stadiums and rolling hills, a different kind of legend unfolds, one not of creation, but of defense, of a looming darkness and the valiant Pokémon who rose to meet it. Are you ready to discover the truth behind Galar's greatest crisis? The story begins with a cataclysmic event known as the Darkest Day. Imagine a sky ripped asunder, a torrent of swirling crimson energy pouring forth, unleashing a wave of Dynamax energy across the land. Pokémon grew to gargantuan sizes, rampaging uncontrollably. Chaos reigned. Galar was on the brink of collapse. But from the depths of slumbering Weald, two figures emerged, two legendary heroes destined to save the region. Zacian, the warrior Pokémon, wielding a gleaming sword, and Zamazenta, the heroic Pokémon, shielded by an impervious aegis. These were not mere protectors, they were symbols of courage and unwavering resolve. Zacian, swift as the wind, cut through the Dynamax energy with unparalleled precision, its sword radiating a light that banished the encroaching darkness. Zamazenta, a stalwart bastion, deflected the rampaging Pokémon, its shield absorbing the devastating blows, protecting the innocent. Together they pushed back the darkness, quelled the rampaging Pokémon, and brought peace back to Galar. But the question lingered. What was the source of this unprecedented Dynamax energy? What unleashed the darkest day upon the unsuspecting region? The answer lies with Eternatus, a colossal, dragon-like Pokémon of immense power, slumbering deep beneath the earth. This being, alien in origin, possessed the ability to absorb energy and emit it in the form of Dynamax energy, the very force that fuels the Gigantamax phenomenon in Galar. Eternatus was not merely a source of power, it was a catalyst for chaos. Its presence disrupted the natural order, causing Pokémon to grow uncontrollably and threatening to tear the region apart. The Darkest Day was not a random event, it was the manifestation of Eternatus' awakening, a sign of impending doom. The truth is, the Dynamax phenomenon so celebrated in Galar's gym challenges was a direct consequence of Eternatus' presence. The power spots scattered across the region, the sources of Dynamax energy, were all connected to this slumbering behemoth. Galar's vibrant culture, its passion for Pokémon battles, unknowingly teetered on the precipice of destruction. And it was only through the combined might of Zacian and Zamazenta, empowered by the unwavering spirit of a young trainer, that Eternatus was finally subdued, its power contained, the darkest day averted. But the battle left its mark, a lingering reminder of the potential for devastation that lay dormant beneath the surface. The region was saved, but the question of Eternatus' true origins and its potential return remained. Beyond the clash of heroes and cosmic entities, Galar's legends also whisper of a different kind of royalty, one connected to the very land itself. Deep within the Crown Tundra, a figure of regal bearing and forgotten power awaits, Calyrex, the High King Pokémon. Once revered as a benevolent ruler who brought prosperity to the region, Calyrex's power waned over time, its connection to the people severed. Its steed, the source of its strength and wisdom, vanished, leaving Calyrex weakened and forgotten. But the legend persists, a promise of renewed connection, a chance for Calyrex to reclaim its rightful place as the king of the tundra. And you, as the listener, might be wondering, how could a king lose his power? What happened to his steed? The answer lies in the legend of two steeds, Glastria, an ice-type Pokémon of immense strength, and Spectria, a ghost-type Pokémon of ethereal speed. These two steeds, each possessing unique abilities, were once inseparable partners of Calyrex, amplifying its power and allowing it to rule with wisdom and compassion. But as time passed, the bond between Calyrex and its steed weakened. The people of the tundra, focused on their own survival, forgot the king's contributions, their faith in its power diminished. And with that fading belief, the steed, whether Glastria or Spectria, separated from Calyrex, retreating to the depths of the tundra, awaiting a new connection. The choice of which steed to reunite with Calyrex rests upon the trainer, a decision that will determine the king's future and the fate of the Crown Tundra. Glastria grants Calyrex unparalleled power, allowing it to overcome any obstacle with brute force. Spectria bestows upon Calyrex unmatched speed and agility, enabling it to traverse the tundra with ethereal grace. Regardless of the choice, the reunion of Calyrex and its steed marks a new chapter in the region's history, a testament to the enduring power of belief and the importance of remembering the past. It also showcases a different aspect of legendary Pokémon. They can be misunderstood, weakened, and even forgotten. But the legendary tapestry of Galar doesn't end with heroes and kings. It also features new forms of ancient powers, echoes of legends past, reborn in unique ways. The Kanto birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, once symbols of elemental dominion, have adapted to the harsh environment of Galar, undergoing a remarkable transformation. These Galarian forms retain their elemental affinities, but their appearances and abilities have shifted, reflecting the unique characteristics of the region. Galarian Articuno, a psychic-type Pokémon, exudes an aura of serene power, its movements as graceful as the falling snow. Galarian Zapdos, a fighting-type Pokémon, crackles with raw energy, it strikes as swift and decisive as a thunderbolt. And Galarian Moltres, a dark flying-type Pokémon, radiates an aura of menacing darkness, its presence as foreboding as a volcanic eruption. These are not mere regional variants, they are testaments to the power of adaptation, the ability of legendary Pokémon to evolve and thrive in new environments. They are living proof that the legends of the past can be reborn in unexpected ways, their power undimmed, their significance renewed. And finally, Galar holds another secret, the emergence of new Regis. Regieleki, an electric-type Pokémon of unparalleled speed, and Regidrago, a dragon-type Pokémon composed of pure draconic energy. These new Regis, like their ancient counterparts, are testaments to the power of creation, the ability to harness elemental forces and forge new beings of immense power. They represent the ongoing evolution of legendary Pokémon, the constant expansion of the Pokémon world's mythos. They, alongside the heroes, kings, and reborn birds, add to the grand design of the Galar region and its inhabitants. The region is no stranger to change, and its legendary Pokémon are prime examples of that. As our exploration of Galar draws to a close, we are left with a profound sense of wonder and respect for the legendary Pokémon that shape its destiny. From the valiant Zacian and Zamazenta to the regal Calyrex and the newly awakened Regis, Gala's legends are a testament to the power of courage, belief, and the enduring strength of the Pokémon world. But what happens when legends of the past clash with the technology of the future? What happens when the boundaries of time itself are blurred? Next, we journey to the Paldea region, a land where ancient mysteries collide with modern innovation, where paradox Pokémon roam free, and where the very fabric of reality is threatened. Get ready to uncover the secrets of Area Zero, the truth behind Koraidon and Miraidon, and the shocking origins of the Terrestrial phenomenon. The future of Pokémon Legends is about to be rewritten, and you won't want to miss it. I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, what's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. Chapter 10: Paldea, Past, Present, and Paradox. Paldea, a land of vibrant landscapes, rich history, and paradoxes. For centuries, its sprawling fields and towering mountains have whispered tales of adventure and discovery. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic region lies a secret, a mystery buried deep within the earth that challenges everything we thought we knew about the Pokémon world. Forget what you think you know about time, about evolution, about the very fabric of reality. Paldea is a place where the past and the future collide, where ancient legends become startling present-day realities, and at the heart of it all lies Area Zero. Imagine a vast, unexplored chasm, a geological anomaly unlike anything else on the planet. This is Area Zero, a place shrouded in mystery, rumoured to be the site of unimaginable discoveries. It's a place that scientists have been trying to unlock for decades, driven by the promise of uncovering the secrets of Pokémon origins and the very nature of time itself. What they found was far more perplexing and far more dangerous than they could have ever anticipated. Within Area Zero, time seems to bend and break. Strange phenomena occur with alarming regularity, and most importantly, it is here that the paradox Pokémon roam. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to learn will challenge your understanding of the Pokémon universe. We're not talking about regional variants or even new evolutions. We're talking about Pokémon ripped from the pages of ancient journals and futuristic prophecies, Pokémon that defy classification and ignite the imagination. Let's begin with Koraidon. Picture a magnificent feathered serpent, a creature of immense power and primal energy. This is no ordinary Pokémon. Koraidon is said to be an ancient ancestor, a relic from a time long before recorded history. Its powerful legs propel it across the land with incredible speed, and its fiery spirit embodies the untamed wilderness of Paldea's past. But Koraidon is only half of the story. Its counterpart, Miraidon, represents the region's potential future. Envision a sleek metallic dragon, a being of pure technology and futuristic design. Miraidon glides effortlessly through the air, propelled by powerful energy turbines. Its cold, calculating gaze hints at a world where Pokémon have become integrated with technology in ways we can barely comprehend. These are not simply Pokémon. They are living, breathing paradoxes. They are creatures that should not exist in the present day, yet they walk among us. How did they get here? What is their purpose? And what does their presence mean for the future of Paldea, and perhaps the entire Pokémon world? The answers, as you might suspect, are buried deep within Area Zero. The story goes that a research team, driven by insatiable curiosity, breached the deepest levels of Area Zero, triggering a cascade of unforeseen consequences. They sought knowledge, but they unleashed something far more powerful and unpredictable. The consequences were the unleashing of these paradox Pokémon into Paldea. But the mystery goes deeper. The presence of these temporal anomalies suggests a disruption in the very fabric of time, a tear in the veil between past, present, and future. What could have caused such a catastrophic event? Was it a deliberate act or a tragic accident? The secrets of Area Zero are closely guarded, and the full truth may never be known. But one thing is certain. The emergence of Koraidon and Miraidon has irrevocably changed the landscape of Paldea, and the ripple effects are only beginning to be felt. Now, let's turn our attention to another enigmatic figure in Paldea's rich tapestry of legends, Ogerpon. This Pokémon presents a mystery of a very different kind. While Koraidon and Miraidon represent the clash of time, Ogerpon embodies something far more primal, the struggle between acceptance and prejudice, between understanding and fear. Imagine a small, shy Pokémon, perpetually hidden behind a beautifully crafted mask. This is Ogerpon, a guardian spirit misunderstood by the very people it seeks to protect. Local folklore paints Ogerpon as a fearsome ogre, a monstrous creature lurking in the shadows, waiting to terrorize unsuspecting villagers. But the truth, as is often the case with legends, is far more nuanced. Ogerpon is said to possess a deep connection to the land, a profound understanding of the natural world. It is a protector of the forests and a guardian of the balance of nature. But its unusual appearance and its preference for solitude have led to its unjust vilification. The mask that Ogerpon wears is not merely a disguise, it is a symbol of its identity, a representation of its connection to the natural world. Each mask is crafted from unique materials found in the Paldean wilderness, and each one grants Ogerpon different powers and abilities. But why does Ogerpon hide behind a mask in the first place? Is it to conceal its true nature? Or is it to protect itself from the judgment and hatred of others? The answer, perhaps, lies in the tragic history of its interactions with humanity. Stories abound of Ogerpon attempting to befriend humans, only to be met with fear and hostility. Its attempts to offer gifts of nature were misinterpreted as acts of aggression, and its gentle nature was mistaken for savage intent. Over time, Ogerpon retreated into the shadows, its heart heavy with sorrow and disappointment. Yet, despite its past experiences, Ogerpon continues to watch over the people of Paldea, offering its protection from afar. It is a silent guardian, a misunderstood hero, a testament to the power of compassion and the importance of looking beyond appearances. The tale of Ogerpon serves as a powerful reminder that legends are not always what they seem, that sometimes the monsters we fear are simply creatures we do not understand, and that true heroism often lies in the quiet acts of kindness and the unwavering dedication to protecting those in need. But the story of Paldea doesn't end with paradoxes and misunderstood guardians. There is another layer to this region's history, a darker chapter filled with curses, ruin, and the consequences of unchecked greed. I'm talking about the treasures of ruin. Prepare yourself, because these are not your typical legendary Pokémon. These are not benevolent protectors or guardians of nature. These are beings of immense power, born from hatred, fueled by resentment, and capable of unleashing untold devastation. Legend tells of 4 ancient artifacts, each imbued with a fragment of a powerful curse. These artifacts, scattered across the Paldean landscape, are said to be the prison of 4 legendary Pokémon: Wo-Chien, Chien-Pao, Ting-Lu, and Chi-Yu. Let's start with Wo-Chien. Imagine a mass of decaying leaves, twisted and contorted into a grotesque form. This is Wo-Chien, the ruinous tablet's Pokémon. Legend says that Wo-Chien was born from a collection of cursed wooden tablets, each one inscribed with tales of betrayal and deceit. Its presence brings about decay and corruption, turning fertile lands into barren wastelands. Next, we have Chien-Pao. Picture a snow leopard, its fur as white as the driven snow, its eyes burning with icy rage. This is Chien-Pao, the ruinous sword Pokémon. It is said to have been born from a cursed sword, stained with the blood of countless battles. Chien-Pao commands the power of ice and snow, freezing everything in its path and leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Then there's Ting-Lu. Envision a massive moose-like creature, its antlers adorned with ancient rusted bells. This is Ting-Lu, the ruinous vessel Pokémon. Legend claims it was born from a cursed ceremonial vessel, filled with the sins and regrets of a long-forgotten civilization. Ting-Lu controls the earth itself, causing earthquakes and landslides with its immense power. And finally, we have Chi-Yu. Imagine a collection of fiery orbs, swirling and dancing in a mesmerizing yet terrifying display. This is Chi-Yu, the ruinous beads Pokémon. It is said to have been born from a set of cursed beads, each one representing a different form of human desire. Chi-Yu commands the power of fire, unleashing infernos that consume everything in their path. These 4 Pokémon, the treasures of ruin, represent the darkest aspects of human nature: betrayal, rage, regret, and desire. They are a constant reminder of the potential for corruption and the consequences of unchecked ambition. The story goes that these Pokémon were once revered as gods, worshipped by a long-lost civilization. But their immense power corrupted their followers, leading to greed, conflict, and ultimately their own downfall. The artifacts that once symbolized their divine status became cursed objects, trapping their power and unleashing chaos upon the world. For centuries the treasures of ruin lay dormant, their power contained within their respective artifacts. But as humanity's greed and ambition resurfaced, the curse began to awaken, threatening to unleash these destructive forces upon Paldea once again. But who would dare to awaken such powerful and dangerous beings? What purpose could they possibly serve? And what will it take to stop them from unleashing their ruinous power upon the world? The emergence of the Paradox Pokémon, the mysteries surrounding Ogerpon, and the reawakening of the treasures of ruin paint a complex and multifaceted picture of the Paldean region. It is a land of ancient secrets, futuristic possibilities, and the constant struggle between light and darkness. But the story of Paldea is far from over. In fact, we've only just scratched the surface. Because next, we must delve into the very source of Paldea's mysterious energy, the origin of the terrestrial phenomenon, and the truth about a creature known only as Terapagos, our turtle-like Pokémon slumbering deep within Area 0. Chapter 11, Paldea, Kanto. The terrestrial turtle. The secrets of Area 0. They run deeper than even the most seasoned explorers could have imagined. We've seen the Paradox Pokémon, creatures ripped from the past and future, defying our understanding of time itself. But what if these temporal anomalies were merely symptoms of a far grander phenomenon? What if the very act of terrestrializing, that dazzling display of crystalline power, was connected to something ancient? Think back to your first encounter with a terrestrialized Pokémon. The way the light refracts, the surge of raw energy, the sheer of it all. It seemed like a localized phenomenon, contained within the Paldea region. But now we must ask ourselves, what if Paldea is not the Ulls, but merely the epicenter? What if the terrestrial energy is emanating from something far older, something far more powerful, slumbering beneath the earth? To understand the terrestrial phenomenon, we need to delve into a being of immense power, a creature so ancient, so deeply connected to the earth itself, that it may very well be the key to unlocking the secrets of Area 0. We speak, of course, of Terapagos. This isn't just another legendary Pokémon. Terapagos is, in essence, the terrestrial Pokémon. Its very being is intertwined with the phenomenon that reshapes and empowers Pokémon throughout Paldea. Imagine, if you will, a massive, ancient turtle, its shell shimmering with a crystalline structure unlike anything you've ever seen. This shell isn't just protection, it's a conduit, a focal point for the terrestrial energy that flows beneath the surface of Paldea. But where did this energy come from? Why is it concentrated in Area 0? These are the questions that plagued researchers for decades. The answer, as is so often the case with legendary Pokémon, lies buried in myth and legend. Local folklore speaks of a great turtle, a being of immense age and wisdom, who carries the world on its back. This turtle, they say, is the source of all life and energy in the region. While initially dismissed as mere folklore, the discovery of Terapagos within Area 0 gave these stories a newfound weight. Could it be that this ancient turtle is not just a legend, but a living, breathing source of the terrestrial phenomenon? The evidence certainly points in that direction. The deeper we explore Area 0, the more apparent Terapagos' influence becomes. The crystalline structures that permeate the area, the strange energy fields that distort reality, they all seem to be emanating from a single point, the location where Terapagos was discovered. But how does Terapagos, the terrestrial phenomenon? That's where things get truly fascinating. The prevailing theory suggests that Terapagos acts as a sort of prism, refracting and focusing the energy that flows beneath Paldea. This energy, which is believed to be a primal force of life and creation, is then channeled through Terapagos' shell, transforming into the terrestrial energy today. Think of it like sunlight passing through a crystal. The crystal doesn't the light, but it shapes and focuses it, creating a dazzling display of colours. Similarly, Terapagos doesn't create the terrestrial energy, but it moulds and directs it, allowing Pokémon to tap into its power and transform. But the connection between Terapagos and Area 0 goes even deeper. Area 0, as we know, is a place of immense geological and temporal instability. Paradox Pokémon roam freely. and the laws of physics seem to bend and break at will. Could it be that Terrapagos is somehow responsible for this instability? Some researchers believe that Terrapagos' presence is actually Area Zero, preventing it from collapsing entirely. The terrestrial energy, they argue, is acting as a sort of anchor, holding the fabric of reality together in this volatile region. This raises a crucial question. What would happen if Terrapagos were to be removed from Area Zero? Would the region collapse, unleashing untold chaos upon the world? Or would the terrestrial phenomenon simply cease to exist, leaving Paldea forever changed? These are dangerous questions with potentially devastating consequences, and yet we cannot afford to ignore them. To truly understand the terrestrial phenomenon, we must understand Terrapagos. We must unravel the mysteries of Area Zero and delve into the ancient legends that surround this enigmatic Pokémon. Consider the implications. A single Pokémon, a creature of immense power, capable of shaping the very fabric of reality. It's a concept that challenges our understanding of the Pokémon world and forces us to confront the awesome responsibility that comes with such power. And what of the terrestrial orbs? The devices that allow trainers to harness the power of terrestrialization? How are they connected to Terrapagos? Are they simply tools for tapping into the terrestrial energy, or do they play a more significant role in the overall phenomenon? These questions lead us to another critical point: the connection between Terrapagos and the Paradox Pokémon. We know that these creatures are anomalies, beings from different points in time, but what if they are also connected to the terrestrial energy? What if the energy is somehow drawing them into our world, or even them? Imagine a scenario where the terrestrial energy is acting as a beacon, attracting Paradox Pokémon from across time and space. Or perhaps the energy is actually destabilizing the timeline, causing rifts and tears that allow these creatures to cross over into our reality. The possibilities are both terrifying and exhilarating, and the more we learn about Terrapagos, the more we realize just how much we don't know. The terrestrial phenomenon is not just a simple transformation. It's a complex and multifaceted event with far-reaching implications. Think about the trainers who rely on terrestrialization in battle. Are they aware of the true source of this power? Do they understand the potential risks involved? Or are they simply using it as a tool, oblivious to the ancient forces at play? It's a sobering thought, one that forces us to question our relationship with legendary Pokémon and the power they wield. Are we truly in control of these forces, or are we simply puppets in a grand cosmic game? As we continue to explore Area Zero, we must remain vigilant. We must proceed with caution, mindful of the potential consequences of our actions. The fate of Paldea, and perhaps the entire Pokémon world, may very well depend on it. And what of the ecological impact of the terrestrial phenomenon? Is it sustainable? Or are we slowly depleting a finite resource, jeopardizing the delicate balance of nature? These are questions that demand answers, and we must seek them out with unwavering determination. The story of Terrapagos is not just a story about a legendary Pokémon, it's a story about the interconnectedness of all things. It's a story about the power of nature, the fragility of reality, and the responsibility that comes with wielding such immense power. So what does it all mean? What is the ultimate significance of Terrapagos and the terrestrial phenomenon? The answer, as always, is complex and multifaceted. But one thing is clear: this ancient turtle holds the key to understanding some of the deepest mysteries of the Pokémon world. But this is far from the end of the story. The mysteries surrounding Area Zero, the terrestrial phenomenon, and Terrapagos are still shrouded in darkness. There is still much to be discovered, much to be understood, and as we delve deeper into the secrets of Paldea, we are sure to uncover even more shocking revelations. We've explored the paradoxes of the past and future, the treasures born of ruin, and now the origin of Paldea's strange crystal transformation. But what if the answers to Paldea's mysteries lie not within the region itself, but in a land far beyond? In Kitakami, a festival of masks and ancient spirits awaits, and the tale of a misunderstood hero is about to unfold. Next, we uncover the legend of Ogerpon. Chapter 12. Conclusion: Echoes of Creation. From the windswept peaks of Kanto to the shimmering shores of Paldea, we've journeyed across a world brimming with legends, a world where the very fabric of reality is shaped by creatures of immense power and ancient origins. But what does it all? What threads connect these disparate tales, these seemingly isolated myths? Look closer and you'll see the echoes. The echoes of creation, destruction, and above all, balance. Remember Mew, the ancestor of all Pokémon, whose DNA holds the blueprint for every creature that walks, swims, or flies? Its very existence set the stage for the drama that would unfold across the regions. Then consider Mewtwo, a testament to human ambition and the unforeseen consequences of tampering with the natural order. And what of the legendary birds? Those elemental guardians of Kanto, their power, a force of nature both beautiful and terrifying. They are not merely symbols of the elements, they are of them. Then we turn to Johto, where the tragic fire of the Brass Tower birthed the legendary beasts. Riku, Entei, and Suicune, reborn from the ashes, each a testament to resilience and the enduring power of hope. They are living reminders that even in the face of utter devastation, life finds a way. And consider their connection to Ho-Oh and Lugia, guardians of the skies and seas, protectors of balance in their own right. Hoenn presented us with a primordial conflict, a battle for dominance between Kyogre and Groudon, representing the raw, untamed forces of nature. The sea versus the land, an eternal struggle. But even in this chaos there was a mediator, a force for equilibrium, Rayquaza, the Sky Guardian, descending from the heavens to restore order, and the Regis, silent sentinels awakened by Regigigas, the titan who shaped the very continents we traverse. Sinnoh, or Hisui as it once was, revealed the grandest of narratives, the creation myth of Arceus, the Pokémon who birthed the universe. From Arceus came Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the masters of time, space, and antimatter, each playing a crucial role in shaping reality as we know it. And the Lake Trio, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, bestowed upon humanity the gifts of knowledge, emotion, and willpower, empowering us to shape our own destiny. In Unova, we witnessed the schism of the original dragon, the separation of truth and ideals embodied by Reshiram and Zekrom. And what of Kyurem, the empty shell, a constant reminder of what was lost, of the potential for unity shattered by conflict? Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus, the forces of nature, dictated the very climate and fertility of the land, demonstrating the power of legend in the everyday. Kalos presented a different kind of duality, the cycle of life and destruction embodied by Xerneas and Yveltal. One brings life and rejuvenation, the other consumes and decays, and Zygarde, the guardian of balance, ever vigilant, ensuring that neither force overwhelms the other. Alola introduced us to the Tapu Quartet, island guardians protecting their domains from harm, each a unique embodiment of the land spirit. And Solgaleo and Lunala, celestial beings linked to ultraspace, opened our eyes to the mysteries beyond our own world. But this connection came with a price. Necrozma, a being consumed by an insatiable hunger for light, and the invasion of the ultra beasts, creatures from other dimensions, forcing humanity to confront the unknown. Gala showed us the heroism of Zacian and Zamazenta, the legendary warriors who saved the region from the darkest day, their courage a beacon in the face of overwhelming darkness. Eternatus, the source of the Dynamax phenomenon, threatened to plunge the region into chaos, a reminder that even the most ancient powers can be misused. And Calyrex, the ancient king, restored to his former glory with the help of Glastria or Spectria, a testament to the enduring power of bonds and the importance of remembering the past. Finally, we arrived in Paldea, where the past and future collide. Coridon and Miraidon, Paradox Pokémon from Area Zero, revealed the secrets of time and evolution, challenging our understanding of what it means to be a Pokémon. Ogerpon, the misunderstood masked guardian, reminded us to look beyond appearances and to value the bonds we forge. The treasures of ruin, cursed relics of a bygone era, warned us of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of respecting the past. And Terrapagos, the source of the Terrastal phenomenon, an ancient being slumbering in Area Zero, revealed the hidden depths of the Pokémon world and the potential for transformation that lies within. So, what have we learned from this journey? What are the echoes that resonate across the regions, connecting these seemingly disparate myths? One thing is clear. Legendary Pokémon are not simply powerful creatures, they are forces of nature, embodiments of fundamental concepts, and guardians of balance. They are the architects of the Pokémon world, shaping its history, its ecology, and its very reality. And humanity, what is role in this grand tapestry? We are the observers, the learners, and the potential disruptors. We have the capacity to respect and protect these legendary beings, to learn from their wisdom, and to work alongside them to maintain balance in the world. But we also have the capacity to exploit them, to misuse their power, and to upset the delicate equilibrium that sustains life. The choice, ultimately, is ours. The legends of Pokémon are not just stories. They are mirrors reflecting our own choices, our own values, and our own potential. They remind us that even the smallest of us can have a profound impact on the world, and that the choices we make today will shape the legends of tomorrow. But this understanding of the known regions is only scratching the surface of the Pokémon world. What if the very concept of a region is more fluid than we've ever imagined? What if there are other dimensions, other realities, where the rules of Pokémon battles, and even the very nature of Pokémon themselves, are completely different? Ensure that you're subscribed, as we will explore all of these topics and more in the future. Chapter 13, The Infinite Path. Legacies, Renewal, and the Endless Journey. The sun sets on the world of legends, but the light never fades. As you settle back and listen, I invite you to take a deep breath. Now, lean into the quiet, the echoes of the past, and the soft murmur of what is still to come. The path of a Pokémon trainer has always been more than battles and badges. It is a story of legacy, connection, renewal, and the quiet belief that tomorrow holds something new. In this chapter, we turn our attention to the ongoing journey in the world of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet and beyond, the threads of tradition and change, and how the tapestry we've followed continues to stretch outward, inviting us to walk further. In the world of Pokémon, each generation is both a continuation and a fresh breeze. With Generation 9, we are introduced to a new region, new species, and new possibilities, but underlying all of it is the same impulse: to explore, to bond, to grow. The spirit of what we've looked at, from the ancient myths of the world built by Arceus to the modern contests and journeys, is still present. What makes this new generation significant for our story of legacy? First, the idea of heritage. Trainers in every era carry with them memories of earlier journeys, friends, rivalries, victories, defeats. The world of Pokémon is layered with past legacies influencing the present. Second, the idea of renewal. Even as the world builds on what came before, it asks, what new relationships will we forge? What new species will challenge our understanding? In the Pokémon world, the journey never ends. It only changes form. While each region of the Pokémon world has had its own flavour, its geography, culture, ecosystems, the underlying promise remains: go somewhere wild. Meet species you've never seen. Face challenges you've never faced. Grow. In this sense, Generation 9 is not an endpoint. It is another chapter in an infinite scroll. What we should watch for is how the new region treats the older themes: the coexistence of humans and Pokémon, the balance between nature and technology, the myths that underpin the land. Even more, we should ask, how will the ancient lore we have studied continue to ripple into this new era? For example, we have myths of creation, of inevitability, of cosmic forces shaping the world. Do those myths still matter in a region of new faces and new species? I believe yes, they matter more. Because when a world has deep roots, growth becomes richer. One of the emotional delights for trainers who grew up with the first generations is seeing familiar faces in new places. The legendary species of yesteryear still carry weight, and their presence in modern games invites reflection. What has changed? What remains the same? Every generation reminds us that legacy isn't only in the big legends, it's in the everyday. In new evolutions of familiar Pokémon, in regional variants, in fresh interactions that evoke our memories back then. The joy of recognition is a bridge between past and present, but renewal thrives too in surprises, species that remind us of something yet feel wholly new. These are the moments that spark curiosity. They ask questions. What if? What next? This dynamic keeps the lore alive, not just as nostalgia, but as continuing wonder. We've spoken often of the myths and the gods of the Pokémon world, but the core of the experience is the trainer, you, me, each person who picks up a Pokéball, Each person who sails across seas, climbs mountains, enters towers. The trainer's journey is iterative. The first time you beat the Elite Four, the time you revisit old regions, the time you help rebuild a place after calamity. Every generation adds new layers, the world grows, and so must the trainer. What I like about this is the idea of infinite possibility. Even after the main story ends, the world remains. You may get a post-game quest, you may connect to other players, you may revisit with new rules. The journey extends, and that reflection is deeply satisfying for adult fans, those of us who grew up and still hold that Pokémon spark. For adult fans, the game becomes less about finishing and more about remaining. It becomes about collecting memories, building stories, and sharing with others. It becomes about legacy in our own lives. The friend you used to trade with, the deck you built long ago, the strategy you discovered, and now you revisit it with fresh eyes. Another beautiful piece is the intersections between generations. Pokémon from earlier games appear in later ones, sometimes through backwards compatibility features, sometimes through special events, sometimes through narrative callbacks. This creates a meta-lore of the Pokémon franchise itself, not only a single region story, but a multi-decade, multi-format saga. For example, a Pokémon you caught in Generation 2 may appear in Generation 9. A myth teased in Generation 4 may be referenced in Generation 8's DLC. These threads give the world cohesion. When we as fans trace those threads, we start to see patterns, themes that repeat, evolutions of design, shifts in tone. One might ask, how has the meaning of legendary changed over time? How have ecosystems been treated differently? How have the human-Pokémon relationships evolved? These questions matter for the way we understand Pokémon lore, not simply as isolated games, but as an evolving body of work. The arcs we traced in earlier chapters, of origins, apocalypse, rebirth, take on new resonance in later generations, because we carry their echoes with us. Let's draw back to the myths we explored. The creation myth of Sinnoh, the primordial egg, the deity Arceus vast beyond comprehension. These aren't just backstories. Within the Pokémon world they are active. They shape habitats, they shape places of worship, they shape the thinking of characters. Now, in Generation 9 and beyond, those mythic currents still course beneath the surface. Maybe in a new form, maybe in new temple ruins, maybe in a species we don't yet know. But they remain because the world of Pokémon is one where past and present converse. This matters emotionally. As a fan who grew up in Generation 1, when I read or hear a legend of Arceus or the Lake Trio, I feel a link across time. I feel that the game acknowledges that there are layers, the ancient world, the modern world, and we stand somewhere in between. That is where the emotional resonance lies. Kids might play a Pokémon game and see just the present story, but adult fans see the depth. They remember their first game, they remember the legends, they remember the feeling of catching that special Pokémon in the early days. Renewal of myth becomes a gift, one that invites us to revisit our own memories and see them in new light. We'll take a moment to reflect on how design and theme have evolved, because renewal doesn't just mean new regions and species, it means fresh ideas built on old foundations. When the Pokémon series began, the simplicity and clarity were hallmark. Recognizable creatures, bold features, straightforward stories. Over time, as themes matured, myths of creation in Sinnoh, nature technology, conflicts in Hoenn, cultural reflections in Alola, the series developed richer narrative layers. In Generation 9, design incorporates more open-world elements, more layered ecosystems, and more interconnected systems. The story becomes less linear. The world becomes more reactive. But underlying that is the same heart: exploration, companionship, challenge, discovery. As adult fans, we bring more than just the game controller. We bring memories, we bring context, we bring emotional baggage. So the world of Pokémon expands with us. The tales are no longer for kids, they're for all who've grown up but still believe in a bit of magic. One of the great gifts of renewal is community. Not only the in-game community, trading Pokémon, battling friends, streaming, but the real-world community of fans, sharing memories, theories, art, strategies. The legacy we carry is not solitary. When I looked at earlier chapters, gym battles, legendary awakenings, world-shaping events, I always emphasized how they matter emotionally. They forged friendships. They inspired us. In Generation 9, the community aspect is stronger than ever. Players from different generations meet, they share stories, they collaborate. This means the world of Pokémon is not just inside the games, it is lived. Revisiting a region means revisiting memories. Using a Pokémon you trained decades ago means you're revisiting your younger self. That continuity is powerful. It turns the game into something lived, not only played. As we draw toward the end of this chapter, let's hold in our mind a beautiful image. A long winding road through forests, mountains, oceans. A trainer walking, a Pokémon by their side. The light shifts, shadows lengthen, and yet the road does not end. It curves beyond the horizon. That road is symbolic. It is the journey of the Pokémon world and our journey as fans. Generation 9 might be the new era, but it is neither final nor alone. There will be Generation 10, 11 and beyond. There will be new myths, new challenges, new friendships. But there will also always be the echoes of the past, the twin echoes of childhood and the hope of tomorrow. So what do we take with us? First, the understanding that legacy is not a burden, it is a gift. The stories of heroes and legendaries matter not only because they were big events, but because they anchor us. They remind us where we came from. Second, the idea that renewal is not a betrayal, it is a celebration. Using new mechanics, new regions, new story modes does not erase what came before. It honours it by building onward. Third, the belief that the journey never truly ends. Even when a main story finishes, when the credits roll, the world remains. New areas unlock, new events happen, memory becomes experience and experience becomes memory again. Take a moment now. Reflect on your first Pokémon game, your first legendary encounter, your first very memorable catch. Then think, how has your game changed? How have you changed? And then look ahead. What do you want your next Pokémon journey to be? Since this narration is often played in the dim of evening or at the cusp of sleep, let's gently turn down the world's volume. If you're studying lore, let your mind glide over the ideas we've discussed. If you're drifting towards sleep, let the images wash over you. Ancient temples, quiet lakes in moonlight, the trainer's steps echoing in a forest, a Pokémon softly breathing at your side. In both modes, study or sleep, there's value. Study, you engage mindfully, absorbing detail. Sleep, you surrender, you let the story settle in your subconscious. The lore of the Pokémon world is rich enough to support both modes. If you're studying, you might pause here and prepare your notes. Key species, key events, themes of legacy and renewal. If you're drifting into sleep, you might close your eyes and imagine the region of Generation 9. Breezy seas, wide plains, quiet hills. A new day awaits. The infinite path of the Pokémon world continues to stretch. We've travelled through creation myths, epic legends, regional conflicts, modern stories, and we've come to a place where legacy meets renewal, where the past and future converse. As we end this chapter, remember, this is not the end of the story. It is simply a bridge, a moment in the stream of time. The next time you press start on a new Pokémon game, you're not stepping into something entirely fresh. You're stepping into a world that echoes countless journeys before and will echo countless journeys ahead. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for believing in the quiet magic within the world of Pokémon. May your next journey be as joyous, as surprising, as filled with wonder as the first one was. And when the credits roll, and you look at your team, your memories, your battles, may you smile at the infinite road still ahead. Chapter 14. Threads of Tomorrow. Evolution, Innovation, and the Uncharted Horizon. When you look up at the stars above a new region, the distant glimmer isn't just a decoration, it's an invitation. Take a breath now, lean back, and if this journey has held you, please consider liking and subscribing to the Stellar Sleep channel so that we may continue exploring these worlds together. Now, drop into the hush of midnight, the soft sigh of an evening breeze across grass, and imagine the horizon in front of you, one that never stops extending. There is a subtle tension that hums beneath the world of Pokémon. It is the tension between what was and what will be. In earlier chapters, we moved through tales of creation and myth, of champions and legacies. Now, in this chapter, I invite you to step into the frontier, Not only what the games show us, but what they hint at, what they innovate, and what lies beyond the edge of the map. Because when we talk about Pokemon's story, we must speak not only of regions and species and battles, but of change, mechanics, culture, connection, and the road ahead. Let's begin with how we move through the world. It used to be so simple, towns and routes, badges and gyms, but now the world is open. The game no longer tells you where to go first, it waits for you to choose. You can wander to a cliffside, ride through a canyon, visit a ruin before anyone tells you why it matters. And this freedom reflects something deeper. It reflects how the Pokémon world is growing with us. As players, as fans, we're no longer just following a path, we're shaping it. We are the architects of the story now. And with that freedom come new tools. Mechanics that change how battles feel, how Pokémon behave. In the latest generation, a Pokémon can shift its elemental type in battle, becoming something entirely new, revealing a hidden potential. It's more than strategy. It's metaphor. Even the creatures we thought we understood hold surprises. Even the most familiar can evolve. And that's what keeps the world alive. Not just the new, but the reimagined. Ancient Pokémon reborn with futuristic twists. Familiar faces made strange through time's lens. The game doesn't just add, it transforms. A paradox Pokémon is more than a new design. It's a question. What if time folded inward? What if a creature lived in two eras at once? What does it mean to battle something born of a different age? These questions give weight to our actions. When we throw a Pokéball, we're not just capturing, we're connecting across time. When we train a team, we're not just building strength, we're stitching stories. That paradox Pokémon beside you might be a relic or a prophecy. It might be both. The world becomes more layered, more mysterious, more alive. And it isn't just the creatures that change, it's the people too. Rivals who challenge you not with arrogance but with philosophy. Factions that fight not for domination, but for recognition. The villains aren't always evil, they're hurt, misunderstood, trying to change a world that left them behind. And when you beat them, the game doesn't just say, you win. It asks, did you understand them? Because understanding has become the real reward. Understanding the land, the culture, the ruins beneath your feet. The games have always been about collecting, but now they're also about listening, about wandering through silence, about noticing. Notice how a wild Pokémon reacts to you before a battle. Notice the weather in a forgotten corner of the map. Notice how your own team, the ones who followed you since the first gym, stand taller now. Notice how they wait for you. Because the bond has changed too. The Pokéball has always been a symbol, but now, more than ever, it's a trust. Your partner Pokémon looks at you not as a tool but as a friend. You cook for them, you sit with them, you sleep near them in the grass. The game slows down, it lets you be quiet together, and in that quiet the lore deepens. Not every story is in a cutscene. Some stories are in a ruined path where no NPC waits, in a cave where echoes don't speak, in a cliff where the music fades and the wind takes over. The game lets you breathe, and when you breathe, you feel. That feeling, the one you get when a legendary stirs or when a tiny Pokémon curls up at your side, that feeling is the lore. That's the story, the one you carry. And as we look to what's next, new generations, new regions, new surprises, we carry everything that came before. The old myths, the old battles, the old wonder. It doesn't disappear, it builds. The world grows because we remember. And maybe that's the most important evolution. Not the mechanics, not the open world, not the type shifts, but memory. Our memory. The ability to walk through a new land and feel a whisper of Kanto, a shadow of Sinnoh, a flicker of Hun. To see a mountain and think of Mutsilva, to find a lake and remember the Lake of Rage. We carry the past not as baggage, but as warmth. The world of Pokémon is wide. It will get wider, but no matter how far it goes, it remains close, because the real map is the one in your heart. The one where your first team still waits, the one where your first rival still smirks, the one where your favourite route music still plays in your mind when you walk in real life. So what's next? Maybe new timelines, maybe new dimensions, maybe Pokémon that challenge everything we thought we knew. But whatever comes, it will come with wonder. And with wonder comes story. And with story comes sleep. Let the horizon stay open. Let the map remain unfinished. Let the lore continue to hum beneath your steps. You are not lost. You are exploring. You are not finished. You are becoming. So close your eyes. Imagine the stars above Paldea. Feel the wind in the tall grass. Hear the cry of a distant Pokémon calling you forward. The story hasn't ended. It's only just begun. Chapter 15. Reverberations in the cosmos, myth, memory, and the unseen realms. The night sky above you is not simply darkness. It is a tapestry of possibilities. Take a slow breath, close your eyes for a moment, and listen. The stars are not silent. They hum with memory. The world below them, our world of Pokémon, hums back. Every shimmer is a story, every flicker a call to journey once more. What we've known so far, myths of creation, battles of heroes, legends of gods, was only the beginning. Beneath those tales lie echoes, whispers of realms we cannot see, time folded upon itself, worlds layered like dreams, and we, the players, the travellers, stand in the middle, listening to both sides of eternity. From the earliest days, the Pokémon world has hinted that it is not a single world at all. It is a collection of planes, stitched together by forces too vast for us to comprehend. Arceus, the first spark of creation. Dialga, ruler of time. Palkia, guardian of space. Giratina, cast out into shadow. Together they hold reality in balance, but the balance wavers. Across generations we glimpse cracks where worlds touch. And through those cracks, new stories arrive. A crater that defies time. A forest that remembers the future. Pokémon that should not exist, but do. When you wander through these places, you're not walking through geography. You're walking through history itself, folded and alive. Memory is a kind of myth. Myth, a kind of memory. One remembers what the other imagines. When you caught your first Pokémon long ago, you weren't just beginning a game. You were writing your first legend. And every time you return with older eyes and steadier hands, you touch that same spark again. The lore of this world is not locked in text. It lives in your memories. Sometimes the games speak of ruins, ancient temples buried in sand, forgotten shrines beneath forests, towers long crumbled. These places are not empty. They hum. They remember. They hold the residue of lives lived and battles fought. When your footsteps echo in those halls, the world remembers you too. You become another part of the myth. The unseen realms, those are the most haunting. The places just beyond the map. The distortion world where Giratina drifts. The dream realm where Darkrai and Cresselia circle each other like night and dawn. The reverse worlds hinted at by strange energy readings. The Pokémon world is porous. Time leaks, space ripples, and once in a while, a trainer crosses over without even realizing. You feel it when the screen goes quiet, when the music drops to a single note, when the colors change. You're no longer in the same place. The grass looks the same, but something in the air has shifted. The Pokémon that meet your eyes hold a different kind of intelligence. You've slipped between layers of reality, and the game lets you feel it before it explains it. These moments remind us that the world is bigger than its mechanics. The world of Pokémon is a meditation on mystery. Every generation tries to explain something, but also preserves something unexplained. That's the genius of it. That's the dreamlike rhythm that keeps us coming back. As we move forward, the stories have become more personal. The villains are not monsters. They're dreamers. Students, scientists, rebels, all reaching for something they shouldn't. The world punishes their hubris, but also mourns for them. The legends are no longer about power, but consequence. About how knowledge and curiosity, when stretched too far, begin to tear reality itself. In the great crater of Paldea, time stutters. Creatures from the past and future roam side by side. It's not a paradox by mistake, it's a statement. The world remembers itself in both directions. It dreams forward and backward at once. When you stand at its edge, you feel the pulse of that dream, like a second heartbeat. It asks you, which part of time do you belong to? And maybe that's what Pokémon has always been asking us. Where do you belong? In the innocence of your first adventure? In the mastery of your latest? In the calm between them? The answer changes each time you play. The human journey and the Pokémon journey mirror each other. Each step forward is also a step back into memory. Each discovery is a rediscovery. We evolve as the Pokémon evolve, though in quieter ways. The act of exploring becomes reflection. The act of battling becomes understanding. The mythic Pokémon, Arceus, the Regigigas, the Uxie and Mesprit and Azelf still linger like constellations above all this. They don't speak much anymore. They don't need to. Their stories were told long ago and now their silence says everything. They are the ancient stars watching new trainers walk the same paths in different skies. Sometimes I wonder whether the Pokémon world itself is dreaming. Perhaps the lands we explore, Kanto, Sinnoh, Gala, Paldea, are all fragments of a single mind, dreaming in colour and memory. Perhaps we are not playing inside it, but it inside us. Perhaps every time we open a game, the dream begins again, continuing where it left off. Listen closely, do you hear it? The low vibration of a world older than language, the pulse of 1,000 journeys overlapping, the echo of trainers long gone whose Pokémon still wander the wilds. They're all still here. Every story remains somewhere in the code of the world, whispering through the wind. There's something humbling in that our victories, our catches, our triumphs, all dissolve into myth the moment they're complete. The game forgets nothing. Even when you start anew, something lingers. The world remembers you just as you remember it. And the unseen realms remember too. The dreams of Unknown, the prayers of Shaman, the half-formed reflections in the Lake Trio's waters. The world beneath the world is watching. When you pause on a cliff, when the wind slows, when the stars shimmer strangely, it's watching you back. Each generation of Pokémon has brought us closer to seeing this. The technology grows clearer, but the mystery grows deeper. We can see farther, but understand less. And that's how it should be. Because wonder isn't solved, it's nurtured. The people within the world mirror that truth. Professors chasing the limits of evolution. Trainers wandering to find themselves. Even the villains, reaching for forbidden energy, are reflections of us. Our curiosity, our need to know, our refusal to let the unknown stay unknown. We're all explorers, and sometimes explorers cross lines they shouldn't. That's what gives the story its soul. And when those lines blur, between myth and science, between memory and dream, that's when Pokémon feels most alive. The paradox creatures, the distortion realms, the hidden dimensions. They all remind us that reality isn't solid, it's breathing. And each generation exhales another version of the world. When you play, you become part of that breath. Your choices ripple outward. Your memories merge with the world's memories. That's the real magic. You're not a visitor, you're a note in its song. Even after you turn the game off, the echoes linger. You might hear a melody from an old route. You might see a sunrise that reminds you of a region you once saved. You might dream of walking through tall grass again. That's the world calling to you, softly, asking you to come back, because it's still growing. The lore is still unfolding. The stars are still forming new constellations. The next chapter will come, and when it does, you'll feel that same shiver of wonder, the same quiet joy, the same warmth. So close your eyes now. Picture a night in Paldea, the crater glowing faintly in the distance, the wind carrying the scent of wildflowers and stardust. Your partner Pokémon rests beside you. Somewhere far away, a legendary stirs. Time stretches, space hums, and for a moment, everything is connected. The world of Pokémon is vast, but it is also intimate. It lives in memory, in imagination, in every soft heartbeat that begins when a Pokeball opens. It lives in the stories we tell and retell, the ones we carry into adulthood, the ones that comfort us when the world outside feels too sharp. The myth continues because we do. The cosmos hums because we remember its song. Take a breath. Feel the quiet. You are part of it. You always were. Good night, traveller. The journey continues, somewhere just beyond the horizon. If this story resonated with you, there's plenty more. Click the video on screen to keep the journey going, or dive into the full Pokémon playlist for more stories, memories, and deep dives. Whichever path you choose, I'll see you there, trainer.